Stop scrolling. If everything you built disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? Not what you would own, not what you would say, but who would still be standing when the noise is gone? Most people are one loss away from panic. One call, one email. One morning that changes everything. And here's the part nobody warns you about. When you lose everything, the pain is not the worst part. The worst part is realizing how much of your identity was never really yours. Stay with me. Breathe. Because this is where Stoicism begins. Marcus Aurelius lost power, people, certainty. And instead of breaking, he discovered something terrifyingly simple. There is a part of you life cannot touch. Listen closely. When money is gone, status fades, and approval disappears, something remains. Not hope, not motivation, command. And if you understand this in the next minute, you will never experience loss the same way again. Part 1. The moment everything falls. Let's begin here. Not with hope, not with motivation, but with the moment nobody prepares you for. The moment everything falls. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and the world you trusted no longer recognizes you. Your phone is quiet. Your calendar is empty. The role that once defined you is gone. The numbers you relied on have vanished. And for the first time in a long time, there is no clear next step. Stay with this moment. Breathe in. Slow. Say it with me, quietly. I am here. Because this is the exact moment Stoicism was built for. Most people think Stoicism is about being calm when things are easy. Marcus Aurelius knew better. Stoicism exists for collapse. Marcus wrote his private notes not as an emperor celebrating victory, but as a man trying to hold his mind together while the world shook around him. War on every border. A plague killing millions across the Roman Empire. Political betrayal. The death of children, the kind of loss that strips illusion away. And yet, in the middle of all that, he wrote something most people overlook. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Pause here. Breathe again. Say it with me. My mind is still mine. When everything falls, panic doesn't come from loss itself. It comes from the sudden disappearance of certainty. Psychologists call this identity shock. Studies show that when people lose a job, a business, or a social role, stress hormones spike to levels comparable to severe physical injury. Cortisol can increase by over 70% in the first weeks of sudden loss. Sleep quality drops. Decision-making weakens. People don't just lose income, they lose orientation. That's why the first collapse feels like free fall. You tell yourself, I've lost everything. But listen carefully. That sentence hides a deeper fear. What you're really saying is, I no longer know who I am without what I lost. Marcus Aurelius faced this same psychological edge. Power did not protect him from uncertainty. Money did not protect him from grief. Status did not protect him from the awareness that everything external is temporary. This is where Stoicism begins, not by fixing the world, but by stabilizing the mind. Reset with me. Inhale slowly. Say it again. I am still here. In Stoic philosophy, the moment everything falls is not called failure. It is called exposure. Exposure reveals what was real and what was borrowed. Your title was borrowed. Your applause was borrowed. Even your sense of control was borrowed. Marcus warned about this long before modern psychology confirmed it. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years, he wrote. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This wasn't about death in the dramatic sense. It was about impermanence, about understanding that anything you build on externals can be removed without asking your permission. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. When life collapses, it doesn't take everything. It takes what you confused for yourself. Pause again. Breathe. Say it with me. Not everything was me. This is why the first Stoic response to collapse is not action. It is clarity. Marcus trained himself to do something radical in moments of loss. He separated the event from the judgment, the fact from the story. The fact might be, I lost my position. The story becomes, I am finished. Stoicism cuts that story at the root. According to research in cognitive behavioral psychology, simply labeling an event without emotional interpretation can reduce perceived stress by up to 30%. Naming reality precisely restores a sense of agency. Marcus practiced this intuitively 2,000 years ago. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke. Let that land, breathe, say it with me. I can revise the story." Now listen carefully. The moment everything falls is dangerous, not because of what you lost, but because of what your mind will try to do next. Your mind will rush to the future. It will create images of permanent failure. It will replay the past with surgical cruelty. It will whisper that this moment defines you. Stoicism interrupts that spiral. Marcus believed that the first duty of a rational mind is containment. You do not solve your entire life in collapse. You secure the inner ground first. Here is a practical Stoic exercise for this exact moment. You can do it today, right now. Take one sheet of paper, write one sentence only. The event is no adjectives, no blame, no drama, just the event. Then below it, write another sentence. The story I am telling myself is, this exercise alone has been shown in multiple studies to reduce emotional overwhelm and restore decision clarity within minutes. Stoics practiced it daily as mental hygiene. Reset with me again. Inhale. Say it softly. I am separating fact from fear. Marcus knew something else most people learn too late. Collapse creates a strange opportunity. When everything falls, the noise disappears. False priorities collapse with the structure that supported them. What remains is silence, and silence is dangerous for the untrained mind, but powerful for the disciplined one. Marcus wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is not poetic comfort, it is instruction. The moment everything falls is the doorway. On one side is panic and identity loss. On the other is something far rarer, a chance to meet yourself without armor. Most people rush to rebuild too quickly. They chase distraction. They numb the silence. Stoicism does the opposite. It asks you to stay, because what you discover in this moment determines the direction of everything that follows. Here is the final reset for this part. Breathe in slowly. Say it with me one last time. This moment does not define me, it reveals me. In the next part, we will confront the real enemy that appears after collapse. Not loss, but the identity trap that keeps people stuck long after the damage is done. Stay with me. Part 2, The Identity Trap, English Voiceover Script, 11 Labs Ready. If Part 1 was the moment everything fell, this is the moment most people never escape. Because after loss comes something far more dangerous than pain. The identity trap. Stay with me. Slow your breath. Say it with me. I am not what I lost. When life collapses, the mind immediately searches for an explanation. And if it cannot find one, it creates one. This is where the trap forms. You don't just lose a job. you become the one who failed. You don't just lose money. You become the one who ruined everything. You don't just lose status. You become invisible. Marcus Aurelius warned about this without using modern language. He understood that the mind wants to turn temporary events into permanent identities. He wrote, "Stop allowing your mind to be a slave." This is what he meant. The identity trap is when you let a moment rewrite who you think you are. Pause here. Breathe. Say it with me. This is a moment, not my name. Modern psychology confirms what the Stoics observed intuitively. Research on self-concept collapse shows that when people fuse identity with outcomes, recovery time from loss increases by up to 60%. Depression rates double. Risky decision-making rises sharply. Why? Because once you believe this is who I am, you stop believing change is possible. Marcus knew this danger personally. As emperor, he watched generals lose battles and then lose themselves. He watched politicians fall from power and become bitter shadows of who they once were. So he trained a radical discipline: never describe yourself using events. He wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." This wasn't denial. It was identity protection. Reset with me. Inhale slowly. Say it clearly. Events happen to me. They are not me. The identity trap works quietly. It hides behind language. Listen to how people speak after loss. I am broke. I am finished. I am nothing without that role. Notice the verb. They are no longer describing a condition. They are defining a self. Stoicism breaks this pattern by rebuilding identity from a different source. Not from outcomes, not from approval, not from control, but from character. Marcus believed that character is the only identity that cannot be taken. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This is not motivational. It is structural. When you define yourself by character, loss cannot erase you. It can only test you. Pause. Breathe again. Say it with me. My character still stands. There is a reason the identity trap feels so convincing. Your brain is wired for survival, not truth. Neuroscience shows that during periods of sudden loss, the brain's threat system becomes dominant. The amygdala amplifies negative self-labels because it believes humiliation equals danger. This is why shame feels physically heavy. It is a survival signal, not a verdict. Stoicism teaches you to recognize this without obeying it. Marcus practiced what we would now call cognitive distancing. He stepped outside his thoughts and observed them. He wrote, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." Harsh words, but precise. You are not your emotions. You are not your labels. You are the observer who can choose how to respond. Reset again. Inhale. Say it slowly. I am the one who observes. Here is a Stoic exercise Marcus used to dismantle the identity trap. For the next 7 days, remove the words I am from negative statements. Instead of I am broken, say I am experiencing a setback. Instead of I am a failure, say this attempt failed. This simple linguistic shift has been shown in multiple studies to reduce self-blame and increase problem-solving capacity. Language shapes identity. Stoicism understood this long before science measured it. But there is a deeper layer to the trap. The identity trap feeds on comparison. After loss, you don't just look at your own life. You look sideways. You see others moving forward. You see success stories online. You see timelines that make you feel left behind. Marcus lived in a world without social media, yet he warned about comparison relentlessly. He wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life worrying about other people." comparison locks identity to a false scoreboard. Stoicism replaces comparison with alignment. Not, how am I doing compared to them, but, am I acting in accordance with my values right now? Pause here. Breathe. Say it with me. Alignment over comparison. This is how you step out of the trap. When you lose everything, the world tempts you to cling to a broken identity because it feels familiar. Stoicism asks you to do something harder. Let it die. Not you, the false self built on externals. This feels like death because the ego experiences it as one. Marcus understood this deeply. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." The identity trap tells you change means destruction. Stoicism shows you change means reorganization. Here is the practical reframe. You are not rebuilding your old life. You are building your first honest one. Pause. Breathe deeply. Say it with me. I am allowed to become someone new. This is where most people resist. Because rebuilding identity requires silence, no applause, no instant validation, no visible progress at first. Marcus trained himself to find satisfaction internally. He wrote, "Be satisfied with even the smallest progress, and treat the result of it as no small matter." This is how you escape the identity trap step by step. Define yourself by daily conduct, not outcomes. Measure success by alignment, not recognition. Anchor your worth to effort, not applause. Final reset for this part. Inhale slowly. Say it with me. I am not trapped. I am transitioning. In the next part, we will go deeper. We will identify exactly what remains when identity based on externals is stripped away. Not theory, not philosophy, but the 3 stoic pillars that survive every collapse. Stay with me. Part 3, what truly remains. When the noise fades, when the labels fall away, when the old identity no longer fits, one question remains. If I am not what I lost, then what is actually left? Stay with me. Slow your breath. Say it with me. Something remains. This is the turning point of the entire journey. Most people never reach this stage because they rush to rebuild appearances. Stoicism goes deeper. It asks you to inventory what cannot be destroyed. Marcus Aurelius believed that life continuously strips away illusions to reveal essentials. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." But what exactly survives change? According to Stoic philosophy, when everything external is removed, 3 things remain: not beliefs, not optimism, not hope. 3 foundations: choice, character, attention. Pause here. Breathe. Say them with me. Slowly. Choice, character, attention. These are not abstract ideas. They are survival tools. Let's begin with the first. Choice. When people lose everything, they often say, "I have no control." Marcus would disagree. He never claimed control over events. He claimed control over meaning. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This is not comfort. This is leverage. Modern neuroscience supports this Stoic insight. Studies in cognitive appraisal show that how an event is interpreted can alter emotional intensity by up to 50%, even when circumstances remain unchanged. The event stays the same. The nervous system responds differently. Choice is not about pretending loss is good. It is about choosing not to compound loss with self-destruction. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. I choose my interpretation. Marcus practiced this in brutal conditions. During the Antonine Plague, nearly 1/3 of the Roman population died. Cities emptied, soldiers fell, Systems collapsed. Marcus did not deny the disaster. He denied despair, the final word. He trained himself to ask one question repeatedly. What is required of me now? Not tomorrow. Not when things improve. Now. This is the Stoic use of choice. It turns paralysis into direction. Here is a practical exercise. When faced with loss, ask yourself one sentence only. What is the most disciplined response available to me in this hour? Not the perfect response, not the heroic one, the disciplined one. This single question restores agency when the future feels unreachable. Reset with me. Inhale. Say it clearly. This hour is mine. Now we move to the second pillar. Character. If choice is how you interpret reality, character is how you move through it. Marcus Aurelius believed character is revealed, not created, in hardship. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not metaphor. It is a principle of transformation. Psychological research shows that people who frame adversity as a test of values rather than a verdict on worth recover faster and develop greater long-term resilience. This is known as post-traumatic growth. Nearly 60% of people who consciously reframe loss around values report increased clarity and strength within 2 years. Marcus lived this truth daily. He measured himself not by success, but by alignment. He asked, was I just today? Was I disciplined? Was I patient? These questions define character-based identity. Pause, breathe, say it with me. My character is active. When you lose money, character teaches restraint. When you lose status, character teaches humility. When you lose comfort, character teaches endurance. This is why Stoicism insists that character is wealth no one can steal. Here is a Stoic practice to build it deliberately. Choose one virtue for the next 7 days. Only one. Courage, discipline, patience, integrity. Then ask every morning, how does this virtue act today in my exact circumstances? This anchors identity to behavior, not outcome. Reset again. Inhale. Say it slowly. I am practicing who I am becoming. Now we arrive at the third and most underestimated pillar. Attention. Marcus Aurelius understood attention long before algorithms competed for it. He wrote, "You have control over your mind, not outside events. Attention is where that control lives. When you lose everything, your attention becomes fragmented. Regret pulls it backward. Fear drags it forward. Comparison scatters it sideways." Stoicism treats attention as territory. Whoever controls it commands the mind. Modern data confirms this. Studies show that rumination can consume up to 40% of waking mental energy during periods of loss, significantly impairing problem-solving and emotional regulation. Marcus trained attention like a muscle. He practiced returning to the present repeatedly throughout the day. Not with slogans, with reminders. Now he would write, "This moment." Pause with me. Breathe. Say it together. I return to now. Here is the Stoic attention drill. 3 times a day, stop for 10 seconds. Ask, what am I attending to? Is it useful? Is it mine to control? If not, release it. This simple reset has been shown to reduce anxiety and restore clarity when practiced consistently. Choice, character, attention. These are what remain, not your past identity, not your former security, not the story you used to tell. Marcus Aurelius built an empire on unstable ground, yet anchored himself internally. That is why his words survive while empires fall. Pause here. Breathe deeply. Say it with me. I still have foundations. Here is the truth many people miss. When everything external is stripped away, life is not empty. It is simplified. and simplicity is power. Stoicism does not promise comfort, it promises stability, and stability is what allows rebuilding without repeating old mistakes. Final reset for this part. Inhale slowly. Say it with me. I know what remains. In the next part, we will turn these foundations into action, not motivation, not theory, but a precise Stoic protocol for rebuilding a life after loss, step by step. Stay with me. Part 4, the Stoic protocol for rebuilding. Now we move from understanding to execution, because Stoicism is not a philosophy you admire, it is a system you practice. When everything has fallen, most people make one fatal mistake. They rush to rebuild the old life. Marcus Aurelius would never do that. He understood something most people learn too late. You do not rebuild from urgency, you rebuild from order. Stay with me, slow your breath. Say it with me. I rebuild with discipline, not panic. The Stoic protocol for rebuilding is not fast, but it is precise, and precision is what prevents collapse from repeating. Marcus wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream." The Stoic does not fight the river, he builds structure within it. This protocol has 4 phases. Each phase stabilizes a different layer of your life. Not motivation, not optimism, structure. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. Structure before ambition. Phase 1. Stabilize the body. Marcus Aurelius never separated mind from body. He understood that a chaotic body cannot host a disciplined mind. Modern science confirms this brutally. Studies show that during periods of loss, disrupted sleep alone can reduce cognitive performance by up to 40%. Decision quality drops, emotional regulation collapses, anxiety spikes. That is why the first Stoic command is physical order, not transformation, stability. Marcus practiced daily physical restraint and routine even as emperor. He woke early, he kept simple habits. He treated the body as equipment, not identity. Here is the Stoic rule for phase 1. Before you fix your future, stabilize your body. This means 3 non-negotiables for the next 14 days. Sleep at a fixed time. Move your body daily, even lightly. Eat simply, consistently. Not for aesthetics, for command. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. A steady body supports a steady mind. Practical exercise. Set one anchor habit that happens at the same time every day. A walk, a stretch, a quiet morning routine. This anchor tells your nervous system, order still exists. Phase 1 ends when your days stop feeling chaotic. Phase 2, narrow the field after loss. The mind wants to do everything at once. This is panic disguised as productivity. Marcus warned against this. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less." Stoicism rebuilds by narrowing focus, not expanding it. Modern productivity research shows that reducing goals after crisis increases completion rates by over 50%. Fewer targets mean deeper execution. Here is the Stoic instruction. Choose one domain to rebuild first, not 5, not everything. 1. Work, health, skill, or environment. Marcus would call this obedience to reality. Pause, breathe, say it with me. 1 domain, fully. Practical exercise. Write down every area you feel behind in, then cross out all but one. This is not quitting. It is sequencing. Phase 2 ends when your energy stops leaking sideways. Phase 3, rebuild identity through action. This is the most misunderstood phase. People try to feel confident again. Stoicism does not wait for feelings. Marcus wrote, "Do the right thing, the rest follows." Confidence is not restored by thought. It is rebuilt by evidence. Small evidence, daily evidence. Neuroscience confirms this. Action precedes belief. Repeated disciplined action rewires self-trust. The Stoic protocol here is simple. Define yourself by what you do daily, not by what you hope to become. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. I am what I practice. Practical exercise. Choose one action you can complete daily for the next 30 days. It must be small enough to succeed even on bad days. One page read. One call made. One skill practiced. Track it. No emotion required. Phase 3 ends when self-trust begins to return quietly. Phase 4. Train emotional containment. Here is where most rebuilding efforts fail. Emotions surge, fear, anger, regret. People either suppress them or obey them. Marcus did neither. He trained containment. He wrote, "You can strip away many superfluous things troubling you and gain for yourself ample space." Containment means you allow emotion without surrendering command. Modern psychology calls this emotional regulation. Stoicism called it mastery. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. I feel without obeying. Stoic exercise. When emotion spikes, delay reaction by 90 seconds. Breathe. Name the emotion. Do nothing. Research shows that emotional intensity naturally drops after this window if not reinforced by rumination. Phase 4 ends when emotion stops driving decisions. The rebuild principle. Marcus Aurelius never rebuilt for applause. He rebuilt for alignment. He asked one question repeatedly: is this worthy of a rational being? This is the ultimate Stoic filter. Not will this impress, not will this feel good now, but does this strengthen my command? Pause. Breathe deeply. Say it with me. I rebuild with alignment. Here is the truth. Rebuilding stoically is slower than panic rebuilding, but it lasts. Most people rebuild fast and collapse again. Stoicism rebuilds once. Final reset for this part. Inhale slowly. Say it with me. I am rebuilding correctly. In the final part, we will confront the deepest shift of all. Why losing everything is not the end, but an initiation. Why those who survive collapse with discipline often emerge quieter, stronger, and unshakable. Stay with me. Part 5. Losing everything as initiation. There is a moment after the rebuilding begins when something strange happens. The fear softens, the urgency quiets, and you realize something unsettling. You are no longer the same person who lost everything. Pause here. Slow your breath. Say it with me. I have crossed something. This is the final Stoic insight, and it is the one most people never reach. Losing everything is not the end of the story. It is the initiation. In ancient Stoic thought, initiation was never comfortable. It was not celebratory. It was not loud. It was silent, stripping, irreversible. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than most. By the time he wrote his final meditations, he had lost almost everyone who could soften his life. Children, friends, trusted advisors. He had seen empires shake and systems fail, and yet his writing grows calmer, not bitter. Why? Because initiation changes the relationship you have with life itself. Marcus wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." This was not resignation. It was graduation. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. I am no longer resisting reality. Here is the shift initiation creates. Before loss, you live as if life owes you stability. After initiation, you live knowing stability is something you generate internally. Psychological research supports this transformation. Studies on post-traumatic growth show that individuals who endure major loss and integrate it meaningfully report higher emotional regulation, lower fear of future loss, and stronger internal locus of control within 5 years. Not because life became easier, but because they became less dependent on it being easy. Marcus reached this state. He stopped asking, "How do I protect what I have?" and began asking, "How do I remain steady no matter what I lose?" Pause again. Breathe. Say it with me. My steadiness is portable. This is the mark of initiation. You stop clinging, not because you stop caring, but because you stop confusing care with dependence. Stoicism does not make you cold, it makes you unshakable. Marcus wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." This was not pessimism, it was preparedness. Initiation removes surprise from suffering. When you expect loss as part of existence, it loses its power to destabilize you. Pause. Breathe slowly. Say it with me. I am prepared, not afraid. There is another consequence of initiation few people talk about. Your standards rise. After losing everything, trivial things no longer impress you. Empty validation loses its pull. Noise becomes intolerable. Marcus described this clearly. He wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good." Initiation turns attention inward permanently. This is why initiated people often appear quieter. They speak less. They react slower. They choose more carefully. Not because they are detached, but because they are no longer auditioning for the world. Pause. Breathe. Say it with me. I no longer perform. Here is the final Stoic exercise. Ask yourself this question once a day for the rest of your life. If I lost this tomorrow, would I still be whole? If the answer is no, you have found something to loosen your grip on. Not abandon, but detach. Marcus practiced this mentally every day. He rehearsed loss not to invite it, but to disarm it. Modern psychology calls this negative visualization. Studies show that controlled exposure to imagined loss reduces anxiety and increases gratitude and resilience. Stoicism perfected it centuries ago. Pause. Breathe deeply. Say it with me. I can hold things lightly. This is the paradox of initiation. When you no longer fear losing everything, you actually live more fully. You love more honestly. You work with more integrity. You build without desperation. Marcus Aurelius did not become weaker through loss. He became exact. Exact in thought, exact in action, exact in character. This is what remains at the end of the Stoic path. Not happiness, not success, but command. Final reset. Inhale slowly. Say it with me. I am steady. If this series has spoken to you, do not let it remain a thought. Like this video so it reaches someone who is standing where you once stood. Subscribe to Making Life Better for Stoic tools you can actually live by. And now, one final commitment. Comment one word, steady, not as a trend, not as a slogan, but as a reminder that no matter what life takes, your center remains. This is not the end. This is who you are now. Before you move on, pause. This part matters. If this video hit you, it's not because you're weak, it's because you're finally seeing clearly. Most people spend their lives protecting what can be taken. Stoicism trains you to protect what cannot. Let this sink in. You do not need your old life back to move forward. You need command over the next hour. If you want more of this, not quotes, not noise, but tools you can actually live by, subscribe to the channel Making Life Better. This is where we train steadiness in a chaotic world. Someone you know is losing everything silently. Share this video with them, not to fix them, but to remind them they are still standing. And now, One final act. Comment one word, steady, not for the algorithm, for yourself. Because when life strips everything away, what remains should be unshakable.